Monday morning. It used to be Monday mornings. We had all kinds of news stuff. Today, not so much. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do something a little different with it. Um, and we're going to have some fun with this today because why not? Uh, they're reporting Milan Lucic is in a cast for a lower body injury he suffered off ice before their last game. If it wasn't for bad luck, Milan Lucic wouldn't have any luck. It was a poor season by his standards. I'm sure he would agree with that. I'm sure the Oilers would agree with that, and it makes sense that he's on a cast going into the off season. He needs to get moved, and I really honestly think that that's what needs to happen. We'll see what the Oilers do in the off season if there's even a way to make that work. Tonight for Boston, DeBrusk and Krug are in. I don't anticipate they'll be 100%, and I do anticipate them getting hit. Um, Krug is injury prone, and he has suffered from a couple of concussions in his career. It is worrisome. I do wonder how long of a career Torrey Krug's going to have in the league, and we'll see how things go for them tonight. Cale Makar joining the Avs. So we've talked about Gusev joining Vegas, which seems like a little bit of a bigger deal because he's 26 years of age. He should be good to go, but as was pointed out in a comment I was reading, he hasn't played on the smaller North American ice surface, so it may not be a fait accompli that he'll be in the lineup just yet. Makar, on the other hand, Hobie Baker and all, this kid is the real deal, and we'll see what kind of a difference he makes for the Colorado Avalanche in that series. When he plays, how much he plays, who he's paired with. There'll be a lot of things that occur here, but the future is really bright for Colorado. Makar looks like a pretty darn solid defenseman, and then they're going to get a number 4 draft pick this year as well, which is guaranteed to be a pretty solid prospect. So things look really, really bright for Makar. Now, I want to talk about 3 other items here that are just sort of interesting. This came out last week, and I thought, well, I'll wait. I'm not going to do a video just specifically on it. The NHLPA warns of a conflict of interest. He's warning agents that they're representing both coaches, management, potentially general managers in contract negotiations, and players. So here's the idea. It's a young kid, junior hockey, getting drafted, or a free agent, and you go, hey, I'm buddies with Joel Quenneville. I'm actually his agent. I can talk to him, and we can see maybe that'll work for you, and we can work on this. Oh, that general manager, I know him. I represent him, actually. Just a little known fact. I represent him, and I can probably get you in good with him. And then I have his direct line. I could just call him right now. We can get him on the phone, so you can see how that would potentially be problematic. I'm surprised that it hasn't come out before. But if the NHLPA is coming out and they're warning of this, and here's the interesting thing. Don Fear is apparently losing support among the NHLPA. So while it looks like we shouldn't have to worry about a lockout the next time around, there appears to be some kind of a fracturing that occurs within the union often. And when we talk about the union versus the NHL and how the NHL seems to win all of these squabbles involving lockouts, that's why. The union can't stay united. And having been part of a union, I've watched it just on a very small level. I can't imagine with a bunch of millionaires how much more difficult it is to keep everybody on the same page. If I had a dime for every time at my old job, I would say, if we were all actually united, we could probably do something. But yeah, so the NHLPA warning of this, and then in the midst of the article I was reading on this, they sort of say that Don Fear, not wanting to overreach here and not wanting to offend, like he's trying to make sure that his job is secure through the next CBA, and that may weaken his position against Gary Bettman. Bettman may very well have some sort of a role here. Hey, it's all's fair in love and war. And for a sport that we love, it's war when it comes to the players and the owners very often. And if they smell any sort of weakness on the player side, yeah, that's done. And that actually may work to our benefit as fans because it may mean we don't get a lockout next time around. Now everybody's talking about the women's final, IIHF in overtime. Finland scores Would I have counted the goal? Yes. The American goaltender's outside the crease. Is there contact with the goalie? Yeah, but the referee was actually going to call tripping on the goalie. So the American goalie was going to get called for a trip on the play. So the Finns are celebrating the win. And then it gets called upstairs. Video replay judge goes, nope, that's goalie interference, even though the goalie wasn't in the crease. Which the rules, that's not how it works. So everybody picks up all their gear. All the Finnish players pick up all their gear. The American players go back on the ice. And the game is resumed, and the Americans won it in a shootout. People wonder why a double IHF hockey is something I stay away from. It's yeah. I will say this. At least Finland beat Canada. And legitimately, they're the world champs right now. They beat the Americans. It is good to see that Finland has joined the rest of the women at the top. And the rest of the women being the Americans and the Canadians. I am a huge fan of my country. You know, Canada, Canada, Canada. But for women's hockey to survive for a long period of time, we need Finland to be as good as Canada and the States. We need Sweden to get a whole lot better. The Russians, they got destroyed in the semifinals. They need to get a lot better. Because when people talk about hockey, they're like, well, you know, they can just bring women from these countries. The only countries that have really supported women's hockey are the States and Canada. Finland's getting there. They need other countries to step up and really make it so that it's not just Canada and the U.S. every time. So congratulations to Finland for breaking up that monotony. And I know a silver medal sucks when you should have won gold, but it's World Championships, double IHF. Anyhow, I also wanted to touch on this. So the Tampa Bay Lightning right now are down. They're 3-0 down. I found something that shows that, you know what? Sweeps can happen. In the Southern Pro Hockey League, I know I didn't cover them this season, and I apologize. The Peoria Rivermen were swept this week in a best 2-out-of-3 series by the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs, a team that I need a jersey for desperately. I have one for Mississippi. I'm proud of my Mississippi jersey because that team is gone. So that Mississippi jersey I'll take care of. But the Peoria Rivermen were swept by Roanoke, and they had a 47-9 record this year in 56 games. They won 40 out of 56. And I did the calculations. That'd be 130 points over an 82-game season. So if the Tampa Bay Lightning get swept, they can go out for a beer with the Peoria Rivermen and talk about how they had these amazing seasons in the regular season. And then Columbus Blue Jackets, Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs, they just got to ruin it for everybody. So there you go. There's your news of the day kind of thing. And we're still waiting on what's going to happen with Kadri. Now that I'm doing a video and I'm talking to you fine people, that's when a suspension will come down. That's usually the way these things work. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.